sister. Welcome to the Happy, Purposeful, and Free podcast, where we are all about going after our dreams, living aligned with our soul's purpose, and playing all out. I'm your guide, Katrina Lelly, life and biz mentor, entrepreneur, mama of four, wife, and big kid at heart. This is where you will get the realest of the real from me and our special guests about living a life with passion, alignment, and what's true for you. We don't do the small talk around here. We are all about being who we are, sharing the tools, tips, all the behind the scenes, and inspiring stories that empower you to boldly pursue your life. I will share all the goods on life, business, and relationships so that you can start living your happy, purposeful, and free. Let's do this thing together. What's up, my beautiful soul sister? I am excited about today's podcast in a different excited way, because I know I say that I'm always excited, but this one's a little bit different because I actually have my daughter sitting here with me, Kassidi. And it's been a while since she's been on the podcast. She was on the podcast before it became the Happy, Purposeful, and Free podcast, and she did an amazing job. And I'm excited and actually surprised that she's sitting down here with me, because not too long ago she said she wouldn't do one of these with me again. Hi, Kassidi. You're going to have to speak up a little bit more than that, goofball.
Okay.
So Kassidi, I am really just curious about how is life going for you right now as a 12-year-old?
It's very complicated and different and it's enjoyable.
Talk to me about that complicated. What do you mean by complicated?
Well, I guess when you start getting older, you start to realize things and lose more friends, but also find better ones.
Lose more friends, but find better ones. What do you mean by lose more friends?
Well, I recently just got, a couple months ago, I became friends with someone, and our friendship only lasted a couple months, and she just didn't want to be friends with me anymore because of a small fight we had.
Yeah, and that was actually a very interesting thing. And for me, I'll tell you, I was just reminded about what 12-year-old life is like, and that's important and impactful. How did you feel when she told you she didn't want to be friends with you anymore?
I felt kind of disappointed and confused.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why it would bother her about the things that had happened, but I told her if she's going to keep finding more ways to just be frustrated with me, I really don't want to be friends with her anymore.
Yeah, and that was kind of it. And I was very proud of Kassidi, actually, in the way that she showed up, because she came right to me and talked to me about it and was very clear on how she didn't want to be treated. How many of us could take a note actually from that, on being clear on how we want other people to treat us? That was a huge boundary that she put up, and didn't even realize that. You were clear that you were not going to allow this meanness continue for you.
Mm-hmm. And it just, I don't understand why it's a sudden change. And shortly after I stopped being friends with her, I was playing a game with my friends, and she just so happened to be there. And she started to make fun of me, and so I just decided I didn't want to play this. I didn't want to do this, and so I've been not really playing it anymore.
How have you been able to, and this is probably a complex question for a 12-year-old, but how have you been able to work through that the way that you did? Because not everybody would handle it as well as you have.
Well, I wouldn't say I handled it that well, because there's been times where it really got to me, and I just wish there was no fight and that we could be friends more. But I don't know. It's just with her, it's very complicated.
Yeah, it is. And I understand that. And we can understand that without having to go into too much, but it's definitely, I want to say that I'm super proud of you for the way that you've handled that. And there are women my age who are going through things like that, who don't handle it as well. They don't put up that boundary. Instead, we can talk behind each other's backs. And we know that's happened a little bit through the grapevine. And instead of just being clear on what you want to choose to allow in your life, who you want to choose to allow in your life, and not everybody is meant to be here for the lifelong journey. And that's something I'm trying to teach Kassidi, because that was a hard lesson that I had to learn in my own relationships, is that not everybody is here for the lifelong journey. And that's why I have said that I used to be a people collector rather than a quality collector, quality in the relationships.
Mm-hmm. But she isn't, I'm not going to say that she's a really bad person or anything. It's just the way she chose to deal with this is not what I would like.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kassidi has kind of gotten to learn, based on what little information I do know of, she is being taught too that we have to look at, it's not just this person, it's not just this girl, but her circumstances and the environment that she's in, and the things she could be being taught or being modeled rather by her own parents. And that affects the way that we all show up in life. It's not, because it's our job as parents to teach you how to be humans, how to be in relationships. And if we're not teaching how being very good examples, you're not going to know how to handle situations. And I think that's part of what's going on here for this girl.
Yeah. And sometimes I just feel bad for her because I don't think it's her fault that it's how, I don't really know how to say it.
Yeah. No, I think we know what you're trying to say. So what do you look for now, or what are you excited about most now? Because this has actually brought some gifts out of this. Like, there's some gifts in this, and you've got 2 new friends who you've been hanging out with quite a bit, who I love, which is a bonus when Mom loves them too. But they seem to be like a lot of fun.
Yes, they are. It was we actually became, me and this girl that we've been talking through school, we actually became best friends, and she's just amazing and so supportive and completely understands.
So you've gotten a gift out of that, which there's always opportunity for us to see, is there a gift here? Is there a lesson for me to learn? Maybe it's just compassion or an understanding of what, there's deeper things that are happening when it comes to these relationships.
Mm-hmm. It's just so nice to have someone who I feel like I always felt with the other girl that there was something a little bit nervous with her because I've known her, and I always thought she never really liked me. And she thought the same way, that I didn't like her, but yeah.
Oh, junior high. Ladies, you remember junior high, right? And all of the things with the relationships and people. And I'm just very proud of you for the way you've navigated it. You came to me and you talked to me about it. You were open about it. I think that's important. That's important in mom-daughter relationships. And for me, it also says that you feel comfortable enough. And I know that's not the case for every mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah. I'm just glad I told you, because it was kind of hard to figure out what I needed to do, because I've honestly never had to go through this. Most of my friends I've either not been that close to, or they just never hated me like that. And yeah. With my new friend, we actually knew each other in 1st and 2nd grade. We'd hang out a lot with this girl that, it was kind of weird, though, because with this particular person that me and her would, follow around and stuff, it was really weird for 1st grade and stuff.
Yeah. And I think it's important to remember that this is not going to be the last time that happens, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the beginning of things that are going to happen. So I'm super, super proud of you. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today and sharing this story, because I know so many people are going to, find those lessons in it. Because like I said, even as adults, we can have those difficult choices to make. And many of us choose to stay in a relationship with people who are not good for us, who are not serving us, who, bring us down because we feel bad or we think we deserve whatever it is we're receiving, and that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share with everybody?
That's all.
Thank you, Cass. I love you. Thank you for coming on and sharing your little bright light with everybody. Thank you so much for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who has a powerful story and are doing big things, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you helped me get this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way to take 60 seconds, leave me a 5-star review, and share this episode with a girlfriend. Don't forget to tag me on social media, and if that's not your thing, shoot me a DM, because I would like to personally thank you for doing so. We are not meant to do this life alone, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. Until next time.